Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, Cal and Kenny are back together again.
We're putting the band back together.
Yeah, they're putting the band back together. Also, Reed Sheppard has made his decision about the NBA, and also Jaden Rashada to Georgia, possibly. There's so much news in this video, it's crazy. I really probably should have done 2 or 3 videos, but I put it all in one for you. Anyway, let's get right into the first story here, and that is Cal and Kenny being back together. Now, John Calipari is kind of filling his coaching needs there in Arkansas. Kenny Payne was a guy that's been with him for a long time at Kentucky, and they had a lot of success together. Kenny's a very good recruiter. Also, he kind of filled a lot of voids and kind of softened Calipari's edges around the other players because Calipari likes to, he can be a little tough. And he's got a lot of ego, and sometimes you need people to help make things a little bit easier around you. And ever since Kenny wasn't there, they've really not had a lot of success. Now, he went on to be a head coach at Louisville, and that didn't work out so good. But some people just aren't meant to be head coaches. I can tell you, Jeremy Pruitt was a great defensive coordinator, terrible head coach. That's probably the way Kenny Payne is. He's probably a tremendous assistant coach and very helpful, but, maybe just not a very good head coach. But this is a sign that Calipari is trying to go back to when he was very successful, and bringing Kenny Payne on board is going to help him, no doubt. And, normally he's a great recruiter anyway. This just makes it even easier for him. And I'm thinking Calipari may make some adjustments and start getting with the program, and having Kenny there will help him for sure. And he might have some real success. He's definitely going to bring in a ton of 5 stars and do all that sort of stuff that he usually does. But the big question is X's and O's and all that. If he can kind of put the team back together that he had in the past and get as close to it as possible, I think Arkansas will have some good days ahead of them, and probably pretty quickly. I know they're super excited in Arkansas land. Now, this next story, Jaden Rashada visiting Georgia. As you know, he's been at Arizona State. He was the guy that was owed like $13 million by Florida. Well, not Florida. Their collective, or one of their collectives. They got like 2 of them. Anyway, he was owed a bunch of money, and he never saw it.
What is this? What is this? Where's all the money?
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
Yeah, they gave him the old IOU excuse, and I think it was pretty annoying. So he wound up going to Arizona State, and that became a whole debacle. And Florida can thank the Tennessee Volunteers for saving their butts, because they were going to get in a lot of trouble because of that from the NCAA. And since we pretty much wrecked them, kind of destroyed them really, when it came to NIL.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
Yeah, because of that, they don't have to worry about anything over the Jaden Rashada thing. And by the way, I've still got that official contract. I don't know if y'all ever saw it, but I did have it. And they gave him the IOU, which you can tell it's official because it actually had the Florida logo on it. That's how I knew. And they use the 2-ply, which is the very best. So anyway, I don't know if that contract's worth anything, but I just kept it as a memento. But anyway, Rashada going to Georgia makes some sense because if you'll remember, Dylan Raiola had been committed to Georgia for like 6 months. And then at the very last minute, like the day before National Signing Day, or early National Signing Day, which is December now, he decided to go to Nebraska at the last second.
Once again, things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
Yeah, something I don't think Georgia appreciated very much. So they've been in the market for another quarterback. Now, Carson Beck is obviously terrific, but he's only going to make it 1 more year. I think they're paying him several $1 million to stay an extra year. And behind them, they've got a guy by the name of Gunner, who's a good quality quarterback, and having a guy that's almost a 5-star who will now be a sophomore in Jaden Rashada would be a good pickup. Now, they're not going to pay him a ton of money. I'll just go ahead and tell you. So if he's looking for money, he's gone to the wrong place. He needs to go someplace that's in desperate need of a quarterback. But, he may be wanting to chase a national title, and if you want a national title, honestly, and I hate saying this, but Georgia's the best place to go. They've got the most talent, and they've just been terrific the last several years, having won 2 natties. And had they not really, if we'd had the 12-team playoff, they would have been the most dangerous team in that last year. But we had the alliance with the ACC commissioner and 2 other commissioners that were fighting Sankey, and they made sure to hold it back a year. And so that creaked Georgia, Florida State, Ohio State, all these teams got creaked. But it was important that Commissioner Phillips of the ACC, he said it didn't feel like it was time to go to 12 teams. And feelings are important, and feelings never lie to you. So, I got to admit, Phillips did a good job. I'm sure Florida State appreciated that.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
They certainly seem to. Now we need to talk about Reed Sheppard. What a terrific player this guy turned out to be. His stats are crazy. He shot over 50% from three-point line last year, which is nuts. I don't know that I've seen a young freshman shoot that well. And heck of a defender. He was scoring like over 12 points a game. Really, he should have been playing even more than he was. I think he was kind of maybe they didn't expect him to be that good, or perhaps John Calipari was trying to keep some of his seniors happy with more playing time. Reed Sheppard's terrific. Heck of a player. And there was the possibility of him staying at Kentucky for, some NIL money, et cetera. But once he went and kind of tested the waters, NBA and all that, they said he's going to be a top 10 pick. You got to go.
Oh, no. No.
You simply have to go. Now, Mark Pope is pretty much starting from scratch. I don't think any of the players are remaining that either were at Kentucky or had been recruited and were committed. He's pretty much got a blank slate. So he's got a lot ahead of him. Now, the Kentucky fans are fired up about him. I'll go ahead and tell you, they love Mark Pope already. He's very passionate about being a Kentucky guy. And they missed that with John Calipari. With Calipari, he wasn't going to give you a whole lot of that. He just wasn't his style. He was more about getting kids to the NBA. Whereas Mark Pope is like, when you put on this uniform, you'd better appreciate what it is. So it's probably going to take him a little bit of time to build up his team, but I think his team will be the type that really gives you some grief, because I think they're going to be very passionate as well, just like him. And it'll be incredibly interesting to watch him build his team, because like I said, he's starting at ground zero. Now, granted, he's got tons of NIL money, and the Kentucky brand will bring in a lot of players. But they would have loved to have Reed Sheppard. Plus, he was a fan favorite. They love Reed. They just absolutely loved him. Just came out of nowhere and just, boom, he started filling it up. So that's a blow to Kentucky, but I don't think it shocks them that much. I think they kind of had a feeling he wasn't going to hang around. He was just too good. So anyway, those are the three big stories I wanted to bring to you today. I put them all in one little tight bundle. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all these big sports stories. If you've not subscribed, it's right here. It doesn't cost you a dime. And for some reason, the algorithm really likes it when you do that. Now, I'll be the first to tell you I don't understand how the algorithm works.
Who are you? I am the architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you.
No, I don't understand it so much, but I know it helps. And right over here is the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.